Hey everybody, David Andrews here. We are working our way through habit number 1 of the 10 habits for high energy living. And today we're talking about habit 1, which is light. This is day 2 in our 10-day series on light. And yesterday, if you recall, we talked about the importance of getting light into our system, because many of us maybe aren't fully aware of how much time. So I'm hoping that after watching that, you were thinking more about how much time you spend getting light directly from the sun. And so today I want to take that a little bit further and talk a little bit about how much light we receive in different situations. So because many of us are professionals working in a professional environment, we are indoors for our work day compared to other people whose occupation takes them outside. So occupations that bring you outside, obviously you're going to get a lot more daylight. But for those of us who work in a corporate environment, work in a professional environment of some sort, maybe you're looking at a computer screen for most of an 8-hour workday, then that is going to affect your health of your body, because you're not accessing natural light. You're accessing most of the day artificial light. So for example, artificial light inside an office or home office might be on average 100 to 200 to 300 lux, which is a measure of the illumination in an area. So if you're at 1 to 200 lux all day long, your body is absorbing very little light. But when you go outside, let's say for instance, even on a cloudy, overcast day, you're going to be about 10 times that amount of light. So you're up to maybe 1 to 2,000 lux when you go outside, even on a very, very overcast day. Now, if you're in the bright sunlight, say at midday, the lux could go all the way up to 100,000 or more. So if you think about that, it's very, very powerful. This idea that basically the amount of light that our body is receiving, either through our eyes, through our skin, depending on where we are outside, but just getting the light into our eyes, it's extremely powerful. So remember, indoors is only a few hundred, maybe 200. Even if you're under a well-lit, artificial light is not going to give you the energy that sunlight will give you. So if you think about all plants, right? They use sunlight to grow. And so it's a similar idea of the light being able to charge our cellular biology, set our circadian rhythms so that we can function at this optimal level. And so that's why health begins with light. This is so fantastic. So think about if you just adjust a little bit, right? So as a habit, all you really need to do is change something very basic, is how much sunlight does your body receive. So if you're out in the morning, we'll talk more about that in the future, about the power of observing, say, the sunrise, but just being outside every day, even in the winter. So we'll talk more about that as well in the future. But this is just about adjusting your habit to, when you wake up, just go outside. And maybe you just simply take a walk. Maybe you simply go find a spot where you can see the sunlight and you just pause for 10 minutes and observe the sun. You could get out and at a coffee break. You could do a walking meeting where you're literally on the phone and you don't need to look at your computer. I know some colleagues who, they have their one-on-one, right? They have a weekly one-on-one meeting. Well, they just go for a walk together. I mean, that's fantastic. So just being outside for that meeting will make a difference. Or maybe you could take your phone and listen in on a conference call, but do it outside, right? Because the amount of lux are going to skyrocket up to, even a midday, 100,000. So think about getting 100,000 lux light into your system versus 100 inside your office. So those are just a few tips that you can deploy right now, tomorrow, today. Get started right away. Another thing you can do, depending on where your office is try to locate your workspace near a window. That'll bring in a little bit more light. Now, with everything going virtual, everybody on video camera, You have to be careful because, you know, it can distort the picture, especially if the window's behind you. But if you can get near the window and anytime you're available to open that window shade and let that light in, that's gonna help. But more importantly is to get outside and observe the sun, walk, be outside in nature. As you can see right now, I'm here at sunrise, so I'm getting full force of the light, but also getting out midday to expand. So even in the winter, and we know that many people suffer from something called SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder, and mostly because of the lack of light, because the sun comes up later, it sets earlier, you're at work, so you're missing all the sunlight. So very important to adjust your schedule so that you can get as much light as possible into your system. So that's today's message, is think about the amount of daylight that you're receiving, adjust your habits slightly to be outside more, and especially midday when you can get bright sunlight. We'll talk more about the benefits of light in future sessions. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, get the notifications turned on so you can get all the new videos coming in. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to light, and a lot more for the next 9 habits after that. We're doing 10 healthy habits of high energy living. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.